Hey everybody, it's Richard Cleveland from Earth School once again. Today Stacy and I decided to go on a little foraging expedition, and we're going on some of these back roads up here in the mountains. And lo and behold, we glance over and we spot this. This is chicken of the woods. This is also called sulfur shell. Not to be confused with hen of the woods, that's mataki. But this is chicken of the woods, and surprisingly, when it's cooked up, usually with garlic, it tastes a little like chicken. These are prime specimens. They're super soft. They're very fresh. They're not hardened off yet. And I'm going to cut some off here just to kind of show you. Actually, that broke off really nicely. You'll notice that the top part is beautiful, nice orange. Sometimes it has a yellow margin. The underside, of course, has no gills, 0 gills, and this is just super, super tender. So we're going to go ahead and collect some of this, and we've also spotted some wood nettle in our trails today, our little journey. So we're going to collect that too, and we'll see if we can't put together a nice, nutritious, and free meal tonight. So stay tuned. Hey folks, it's Richard Cleveland from Earth School again. We no longer got done collecting some chicken of the woods down the hill, and we decided to kind of just look around before we left. And looking up on here on this fallen tulip tree, referred to as tulip poplar, though technically it's not really a poplar, we have found what appears to be some oyster mushrooms. These are one of the safer mushrooms to collect, and just to be sure though, we're gonna collect some of these and take them home and do a spore print, and maybe check with a few of our expert friends. But these sure look like oyster mushrooms to me. Cut some off here, give them that, kind of off-centered stem. Classic smell. Pretty sure, but better safe than sorry, of course. So stay tuned. We'll see what else we come across on our little journey today. Hey everybody, Richard Cleveland from Earth School again. We're here continuing our grand adventure today. We got some mushrooms earlier, and we talked about wood nettle earlier too. This is wood nettle, and it's a lot different looking than stinging nettle. The leaves are much larger. The branching of wood nettle is not opposite like stinging nettle is. It's alternate. That's one key indicator as well. Now wood nettle, this is very mature, but you'll find that it has a longer growing season here in the mountains than stinging nettles does. Stinging nettles is already pretty much gone. This rich, damp cove here is an ideal place, ideal habitat for this plant to grow. Much of what I see up here behind me is all wood nettle. Now we know that stinging nettle has stinging hairs, and wood nettle does too. In fact, people think that stinging nettle is worse than wood nettle, but they've never experienced mature wood nettle before. When this plant is really young, which is a good time to collect it as well, it doesn't sting very much, not like stinging nettle does. But when it's fully mature like this, look out. This plant will light you up. If you're up walking up through here and you have to go through it, you should be looking for some jewelweed, which we'll talk about later, if we find some, to rub your legs with to get rid of that sting. These unusual flowers here, which we'll get a still photo of here in a little bit, are very bizarre. They almost look like lichens in a way, pointing upward. And you hit these with the back of your hand and you'll know it. Now to collect these leaves, we're going to kind of pick and choose through here and try to get a decent amount, because it does cook down. And we'll cook this down in water, in hot water. But it's absolutely delicious, and it's full of nutrition. The way that I like to collect this plant is I'll find a good looking leaf like here, and I don't want to touch the underside per se. What I want to do is I want to come down on the plant like this, and then I'll pull it up just like that. You'll see what I did with my fingers there. I pushed down around the stem from the top and then pulled it off. Now, you're still going to get stung occasionally as you're brushing against this plant. But as I mentioned, we're going to be looking for some jewelweed too, and we'll show you how to use jewelweed, which will not only help to remove the sting from stinging nettle and wood nettle, but also to help neutralize the oils from poison ivy. Good stuff. So stay tuned. Hey folks, we're back. We just got done collecting enough wood nettle for our meal tonight, and I mentioned jewelweed. Now, I did get stung up a little bit because I wasn't wearing gloves, and to be honest, if you're careful, you're still going to get stung a little bit. But I almost kind of look at it like it's just part of the experience, right? You get stung a little bit, but luckily we have this plant here. This is the jewelweed that I spoke of, and you notice it has this one, or I should say this variety has this little orange kind of horn of plenty flower. And as luck would have it, we also have the yellow variety right next to it. So if we pan over here and look at this, we have the yellow variety too. The orange seems to be more common, but when you get at higher elevation in the mountains, it seems like the yellow kind of takes over. But here we have it side by side, so we're able to show you both of them. So I do have some owies on my fingers a little bit, and a little bit on my wrist where one of those weird flowers got me. So what I'll do is I'll reach down here, and I'm just going to take a branch off this. These are actually fairly big, and this plant does not dry well because it's full of water, basically. And I'm going to take this plant and just kind of mash it up in my hands real good to kind of expose some of that juice. And I'll take that and I'll rub that on my fingertips and place right here on my wrist that it got me. Now remember I mentioned too that you can use this for poison ivy, particularly when you get into poison ivy and you know it. This will help you in the field or back at home to neutralize the urushiol, which is the poison oils in poison ivy and poison oak. And you literally can take this and rub it on your legs, wherever it touched the bare skin. Another way to use jewelweed is to collect several of these plants and crush them up like this, and get yourself a dish tub of cold water and just drop the plants in. And about a half an hour to an hour later, the water will start to extract the compounds in jewelweed and will usually turn kind of an orange color. That's an ideal wash for family picnics and things where the kids might be out and exposed to it. Before they come in the house, they just go over to that tub and just kind of rinse that water in their hands. Another useful plant. And interestingly too, when we were collecting the wood nettle, there was some of this growing right next to it. I've seen it with poison ivy as well. This one just seemed to have a little better example of flowers. That's why we decided to drive a little further so we could show you, just a better example of what you would find in your neck of the woods. Hey folks, we're back at the end of our adventure today. Stacy and I went on a foraging trip, as you've been following, and we managed to, at the very end of the trip too, we went to one of our favorite swimming holes, had a really nice dip in a cold mountain stream. That's a good thing. Another benefit to coming to Earth School and being in Western North Carolina. But here we have our mushrooms. We have our chicken of the woods and our oyster mushrooms, which we've confirmed to some friends that are indeed oysters. We knew they were, but it's always good to be sure, right? And here is our luscious greens. Love this stuff. This is our wood nettle. Cooked like a fine vegetable, a little bit crunchy, awesome. And to top it off, our wild dream is some trout that moi caught myself. Not on our adventure, but I caught before. But we thought it fitting to incorporate some truly wild food and free food into our adventure. Just to let you know, we do have some classes coming up. We teach 3.5 day long wild edible and medicinal classes along with just a 1 day edible class. But coming up in early September, right before Memorial Day Monday, we have starting on Thursday night, we have from the 3rd to the 6th, if I'm not mistaken. We still have a few spots left, but only a few. If you'd like to learn how to feed yourself Would you? I don't know why you wouldn't. It's always a great thing. Please check it out and sign up. We'd love to show you how to feel comfortable and confident doing just what we did this past day. Thanks for checking out our videos, and of course down below there's a like button, and please like us and share with your friends. Thank you so much. We really appreciate you.